Okay, we didn't want us to go live, right? We were having a nice conversation, and then fucking Tony comes in and pisses me off as he always does. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't take a 30-second shoot. I'm gonna say something. She's like, I don't know why I deal with this.
Why do I invite you? Why? You know what I mean? Like, why do I do this to myself? Hey, everyone, welcome to All About the Joy. We're a few minutes early. Rick will be by shortly. We were just starting to fight in the green room, and then Cynthia's all like, fight, put it online.
Hurry up, hit the button.
Let me explain, Tony. Years and years ago, I cut cable, which means I don't have what's the cable in Boston? I'm saying it again for the people who want to know why we fighting already, okay?
There's a few different ones, but like Dish Network or RCN.
No, she's talking like
Network is not.
Is it Viacom? Is it?
When you talk about Cablevision,
right? Cable, right? Cable. So a long time ago, I got rid of cable. So the only thing I have is internet. That's it. I only have internet, and I pay like a ridiculous price to have the best internet, so it streams everything, and I can Zoom call whatever country I need to talk to. Okay, but when you get something like YouTube TV or Hulu does it too. If you get Hulu, I don't know. I don't have Hulu anything. I just got it for this one show and I already canceled it. But YouTube has all the channels, even more channels. Hi, Melanie. Oh, Cynthia called it. Cynthia said you cannot go on early because Melanie is always our first person, and she's on and she knows it's 9 o'clock. Because Melanie, we were already in the green room talking. Who's that? Oh, is that Jason? Is it? He's so cute. Tell him I said hi. He don't remember me, but I know. Did you just say what to me?
Oh, he said hi.
Oh, hi, baby. Anyway, so YouTube TV has all of that stuff. And the thing that I hate about YouTube TV is that even though I said I don't, because you can decide what you want to watch. You can decide, right? It's like, you pay for all of it, like $75 or something a month, but then you can choose what comes on your feed. So like, I've taken off everything that's, sports. I don't want to watch any sports stuff at all.
You don't. That's true. No, you don't.
But then what it does is it still tries to advertise when you log on. It's like, are you sure you don't want to watch the game between blah, blah, blah? I'm like, oh my God. Because they're always trying to push you to, it doesn't cost any more money, but they want, I guess, the views or something. I don't know, whatever it is. But.
Well, they want to make sure
you can watch.
Yes.
What, Tony?
Go ahead, Cynthia. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say you can watch like regular news like CNN and NBC, all that on there too.
Absolutely. It's everything. I got the BBC. I got all of the, I forget what the name of the channel is, but it's all the European shows. They have their own channel. Yeah. You can watch anything you want. Al Jazeera if you want or whatever.
I'm about to ask, is Al Jazeera on it? Then you cover with the news. Okay.
Oh, no, totally. I would never not be because actually I usually don't watch TV. You know what I mean? Did you not shave a part or something?
Yeah, I missed the spot.
I hate when that happens with my legs. Yay! Oh my God, Joy.
Hey, Joy.
I'm glad you're doing better. Hello.
We miss you.
We all miss
I told her she can reach out to me when she's ready to come back and to hang out. Oh, wait, let me double check where Rick is. I hope he's okay. He probably knows we're on, so he's taking his time. Oh, nope, I got a whole bunch of messages.
If he's not here, that means something's going on because he's always here.
Yeah, he's just doing what he can right now. He said no worries. Look, if he can't make it, it's okay. But he just said he's trying to deal with a situation at home before he jumps on. So absolutely. I'm sure he knows we're on here. You know what I mean? So he's like,
I already knew what was going on when he wasn't here. I already knew.
Why don't you guys talk about whatever? Just give me a minute to try to figure this out while I'm sitting.
So Cynthia, how are you?
No. Wait, there is news, but I got to be involved in the news.
Yeah, so, we can't talk about it yet.
Why don't you talk about how bad X-Men 97 was?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Hey, I like it. I haven't finished. I stopped at episode 8, so I haven't finished it yet.
You have to watch 9. You have to watch.
Okay.
Isn't there only 9 episodes?
No, I think there's 10.
9 or 10, but you got to watch it. I don't even want to tell you. I love what they did. I love the action they added to it. I know it was a little bit darker than the older cartoons, but I thought they did an excellent job with it. They switched it up very well. And look at Carmen. She's about to lose it. Hey, Sadie, how you doing?
I'm just frustrated. I'm not trying to send this link to my friend. That's all that's happening.
But no, I thought it was great. I really did. And I was listening to last week's episode before I came on while I was doing some laundry. And y'all was talking
Carmen
about
was right. It did suck, huh?
No. You talking about the Marvel character he would marry? And I was sitting there like, that is a good question. First of all, I had to see which one I'm going to
We didn't say hi to Sadie. Hi, Sadie.
I did say hi to Sadie.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. Hi, Sadie. How you doing?
I thought you wanted us to talk. What you doing?
Wait. I'm just going to tell. Okay, I'm going to let you talk. Joy, I sent you the link on your cell phone. If you didn't get it, let me know on here. on the chat because I can't see them both because I'm not that techie. Go ahead, finish your stupid conversation about a dumbass show. Go ahead. I'll give you a minute.
She's hating.
Damn. What's up, Rick? No, what you said about the Marvel characters that you would marry? If I were to pick any character, I would say Anita Hill. I liked her. She was kind of cute.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely got to watch it this week. I did watch Loki. I watched it.
Oh, you did?
I watched it.
Wait. Let's say hi to Rick first.
Hi, Rick.
Hello.
Cynthia, do you have any news you want to share?
Wow.
I got the job.
Yay!
I'm
so excited. And they're giving me what I asked for.
Awesome.
I know money. That's a big ass raise, though, right?
Yeah.
So now you can get Tony an even better microphone.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And fuck
so
the people who didn't help us along the way. That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry. I'm gonna be a little bitter because people say they're gonna help and then they don't help.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's okay. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. When you show me who you are, I'm gonna believe it now. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so when do you start? Like, what's the deal? Because you're going on vacation for a month, 10 days,
2 weeks.
2
So
weeks.
I told them, I would like to start July 1st because I'll be back from vacation and my boss will have time, to get situated and stuff.
So happy for you. So happy.
Thank you.
Yay. And then before we hand it over to Rick, we were talking about that you saw. Wait a minute, I think somebody just logged on again. That you saw Loki.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
I did like it. It was entertaining. It was kind of getting confusing having to follow, him going back and forth and everything. But I mean, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it. But
it was months ago. We've all seen it. Go ahead.
Okay. So now he's the timekeeper.
He holds all of the, what is it called, Rick? He holds all of the timelines.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. So
when you go back and watch like the first Thor, which I watch pretty regularly, it's all different. You know what I mean? It makes more sense. Hey, Joy.
Hey, Joy.
Joy, I love your hair. It's all
I was just thinking that too.
It looks cute. And yeah, we see you well now.
Yeah, perfect.
Let me put Cynthia back on.
There we go.
Can you see Joy now?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I am so glad I came up with that idea because it makes sense. You know what I mean? Tony, you and I are going to go at it today, baby. Okay, Rick, we're 12 minutes in. Go ahead, baby. Welcome to All About the Joy, Rick Costa style. Go ahead.
All right. So we're going to do that topic I was bringing up a couple weeks ago?
I'm sorry. It's your show.
I didn't know I was going to do it today. I wasn't notified.
You were notified last week's episode.
No. 2 weeks ago is when we talked about it. Last week, we said nothing about this.
Why didn't you? This is okay. We have to act like we're a cool company and like we got shit going on. So just apologize. No, I'm just kidding.
It's too late to apologize.
All right, then let's do this. Let's clarify. You will take over next week because clearly we're not prepared, right?
We can do it if you want.
All right, well, just do it then. Oh my God.
So the whole idea was representation. And what do I mean by that? So I can only tell you my little teeny experience, which doesn't compare with most people's. But so they had NBC put out a movie of the life of Christ, and they were looking for who they're going to have to play Jesus. And the person they picked was Portuguese. And I was like, yeah, Portuguese, woohoo! Because I'm Portuguese, I was all excited, right? So I was like, yay.
Tony's going to smack you.
I said, I've never seen no Portuguese people ever. Because there's not a whole lot of us here. I mean, there's some. I was, shut up. And then I was really happy about that. But it made me think, what about other nationalities and ethnicities and all that stuff? How do they feel about representation? Since now it's much better than it was years ago. But years ago, it was pretty much white land. Let's be honest. It was pretty much white land. Everybody was pretty much white. Leave it to the beef. Name any old show is almost all white people. Now, of course, we've progressed. When you know better, you do better, Carmen. All right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're getting better now.
That's not my quote. That's Maya Angelou.
Right. But I hear you say it all the time.
I want to make sure we're giving the right person credit.
Yes. Rest in peace, Maya Angelou.
Yes. Amen.
I'm not Catholic, but yeah, we did that. But anyway, I've always wanted to talk to people about that. Like, what is it like for a little girl? Even when I was a kid, everybody has a Barbie doll. Where's the black Barbie doll? Where's the Asian Barbie doll? Where's all the other ethnicities of Barbie dolls? Why is it all white? And how does that make you feel? And I sent you a video, Carmen, if you saw it. About
you can play it if you want.
I think I could bring it up. Let me see.
You should be able to.
Yeah.
You know I can't.
I never thought to join most.
I think it's been a while.
Because she doesn't like you. She likes us, and she just puts up with you.
Joy takes care of it.
I'm having a day with you today, Tony, huh?
I'm behaving. You got 10 more minutes, then it's mine.
Oh, okay. Wait, did you put it up there, Rick? Because I don't see it. Oh,
I grew up on American movies, and I've never seen characters like myself on screen. It's incredibly meaningful. It's incredibly important.
I mean, I've grown up looking at the Marvel comics and know a bit about the Marvel world. And, you know, I've never seen a superhero that looks something like me. And I'm really pleased because it truly is the right time for our little boys and girls to go and say, oh, look, we are superheroes too.
When you see a superhero, you see yourself. And I think that's the really important thing that movies like this does for kids. It allows them to feel the possibility. And it's only going to add to that, and hopefully will continue to open the door for more movies like this.
I hope Shang-Chi is another step. If Shang-Chi is the end, then we have failed. I could not be more proud of the way that this movie has allowed us to bring up more representation both in front of and behind the camera. And I think the world just is hungry for movies that reflect who we are in all of our colors.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending that clip and for showing it.
I thought that was pretty good, you know, and just goes to show every ethnicity is probably thinking the same thing. Like, oh, why don't I see anybody that looks like me on the screen? You know, and how would that make you feel if you felt like, oh, only one certain ethnicity is on the screen? Like, what? We're not worthy to be on the screen with y'all? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of open.
But do you think that's what that's about?
With what? Be more specific.
About us not being worthy. I don't know if that's really what it's about.
Well, I don't know what a kid thinks. I don't know because I didn't go through that. Because again, I look pretty white, so.
I know, but I guess for me, it would be more, it's just racism, right? It's always been this pushback of, it's part of what we're dealing with even to this day. We take 2 steps forward and 17 steps back, right? Mm-hmm. like we're crawling our way through this process. And I think it's always been about racism. However, I will say on the flip side of it, and this is just one instance, this isn't like blanket all over the place. I wrote in my book about not having a Barbie. And as a little kid, I was jealous and upset, and because we couldn't afford it. It was about poverty, right? Mm. It wasn't like, oh, how come they don't have a black Barbie? It was, I just wanted Barbie because everybody had it. What I will say is now that I can look back on it, I'm glad I never had a Barbie because I never had to imagine myself looking like that. Mm. And white women were on the covers of every magazine. There was no representation for any other ethnicity. But in a way, that is also why so many people ended up having so many issues about image and who they are and what they look like and their body and their, you know what I mean? And so in a weird, backhanded, stupid way, I'm grateful. Now, I did say the other day, I wish I grew up with Serena Williams as someone to look up to because she is fierce and beautiful and the body of like just what I think is a strong, sexy, feminine woman. You know what I mean? And I can't imagine the person I would be today had I grown up seeing someone so powerful and looked more like me body-wise than someone like Gabriella Reese, who is, if you guys don't know who she is, she's a big-time volleyball player, right? So I was pretty athletic, so I always liked athletic people. And Gabriella Reese is also, she's married to that big-time surfer guy, if you guys are into surfing. Anyway, I don't anyways, it doesn't matter. But that's the only plus I see for me personally. Mm-hmm. Like not having a Barbie. But all the things you said about shows and stuff, I mean, of course it sucked, but you didn't know any different either. You thought that the white way and this world and the whatever, it was the way it was always supposed to be. And so you knew you weren't part of it, but then you didn't have any choice. So you tried to find connection anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember when the Cabbage Patch dolls came out and then later they came up with the black ones. And I'm like, and everybody was like, oh, like some people were happy, some people were not. And I'm like, why wasn't it in the first place? Like, why do we have to do this after?
But you know,
I know now. I'm saying I know now. But then I was like, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Like I was a kid. I didn't know. I didn't understand.
I'm curious what Joy thinks about this. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but you are the representative of all white women on the planet.
Okay. You're talking about Barbies. Rick brought up Barbies. They actually just came out with a blind Barbie.
No way.
Yep.
Wow.
Earlier this year, they came out with a blind Barbie.
That's awesome.
How does that make you feel?
It's kind of neat, actually, because there's never been, a representation of the blind community.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually has a little white cane and a guide dog.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really, really cool.
Everything that, and I'm going to try to find one. I've not found one yet, but I want to try to find one. But yeah, I mean, I grew up with Barbies. Personally, I didn't have the real Barbie because it was all about the money.
Yeah.
I have a little imitation Barbie. But I don't know, to me, especially with the Barbie dolls, I was very much a tomboy. So I didn't play with my Barbies a lot, but and I guess like the TV shows, growing up, two of my favorite shows was Sanford and Son and Good Times.
Yes.
It just, that's what we always watched.
Dynamite.
Yeah. But, and to me, I didn't think a lot about it because, one, I didn't get to watch a lot of TV or watch a lot of movies or whatever. We were always outside doing stuff.
That was also our generation, though.
You're so right. You're right. Yeah.
So if anybody finds a Barbie for visually impaired, please let us know so we can get it to Joy.
But let's also say that, there isn't a lot of representation also for the disabled community.
Period.
So,
that is true. And actually, Disney just started making costumes for children in wheelchairs. So they have a whole costume that goes over the wheelchair. So it'll look like the Millennium Falcon. It'll look like the Cinderella carriage. So now they're including all these kids in wheelchairs or, with disabilities, which I think is great. But like you were saying with the whole inclusion with film now, it's like, yeah, it's great that, they have Asians and Spanish and Blacks and being represented, but there's still a stereotype. There's still a certain way they want you to look, whether you're Spanish or Black or Asian or from any ethnicity. So that's still kind of tough and, it's still kind of racist in the industry too. So,
right. So is
it's
it true?
Yeah, they're trying to go the right way, but they still have those limitations.
So let me just give a shout out to Mario. I know we all saw him waved, but hi, Mario. Love you. Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
So Carmen, the world famous actrice, she could probably tell us better, but like if somebody's looking for a person of color, could it be possible to be like somebody who looks a little more lighter, a little more not so dark might get the part, unless they're specifically looking for like a really, dark type person? Is that more likely to happen? Or depends?
You're asking me the question, right?
Yes. You're the famous actress in here.
I don't even do any acting. Look, here's what I'll say about Hollywood before we start dissing Hollywood. I'm a big fan of this industry. And I hate when people, not you, but just in general, when people kind of try to blame a lot of things on Hollywood. The problem is Hollywood is always ahead of the game, right? So any issues that are happening within the industry always end up being still ahead of the game as they're trying to move through it. So yes, as I said last week or whenever it was, we talked about it in Hollywood, and this is also changing, especially like on 911 Lone Star. There are actors who are definitely being brought in who are Latino and Afro-Latino. So there is now a distinction. But before they used to say, oh, we need somebody who's a Latina, this age, blah, 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 can do this and whatever. And you'd go into the audition and what they really meant was European Latino person. So a white person who's Latino, like Salma Hayek or Jennifer Lopez, or they're only looking towards these types of women as being Latina, whereas the world of the Latin ethnicity, whatever it is you want to call it, goes from being very blonde and blue-eyed to being very, very dark-skinned and with African features. And that's what's the beautiful part of basically every ethnicity, but especially the Latino community. And so to me, I'm being biased, but I am Latina and I am of African descent. So I think that, yeah, Hollywood has had problems with a lot of things. I mean, now we're seeing, especially, again, I'm sorry I'm talking so much about 911 this show, but but 911 Lone Star, like I thought it wouldn't work, but there's gay, there's transgender, there's Black, there's Asian, Asian, I don't think there's an Asian person. Muslim, right? Muslim. Yeah. My apologies. And it works.
Yeah,
it works.
There's also an interracial couple in there on both 911s.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They're both very. So I mean, we're getting there, but sometimes it's been so forced that it hasn't worked. You know what I mean? I'm curious to see what Tony, who I guess has just left us. Mario said the crazy thing to me is that they actually cast J-Lo as an Italian in The Wedding Planner. So sometimes Hollywood can just be hypocritical. Okay, I'm gonna explain something to you because I I'm not defending J-Lo. I'm going to use a different example. The problem is because people do not know what it means to be Latino, right? Because Hollywood is growing as well. So many people in this industry from back in the day, and I'm talking Martin Sheen is a great example. I've talked about him in the past. He was on The West Wing. He was on so many movies. He's Latino, and most people don't know that. But when you can get work and you can pass, you're going to pass, and you're going to do what you need to do. So it's not that they were like, oh, let's cast J-Lo as an Italian wedding planner. They said, hey, she can pass as Italian to people who don't know any better. And let's be honest, we are so ingrained with racism. Half the time people don't get what's happening. And then on top of it, they're like, J-Lo has a name. So let's use that to bring her, you know what I mean? They can bring more of an audience. Mm-hmm. So, and again, I'll also back with this. We talked about the gay character in a sitcom. What was it? He's not gay.
Will and Grace. Yeah. Will and Grace.
Will and Grace. He wasn't gay, right. But he did it and he passed. And I'm not saying he did it and lied at all, but I'm saying then he was able to bring a different group of people, and he could do something with his name. Eric McCormick could do something with who he was and his name, and bring an audience and get us all more comfortable with gay characters. Yeah. So that's why I'm pushing back on that, because I have a lot to say about J-Lo on a whole other level, but stop.
We ain't gonna go there.
Now, I will say this. One of my friends who used to be in the industry, years ago, and he was an actor, but he was also a makeup artist. And they needed a Latino on the set. So what he did, instead, they did not cast a Latino. He actually put makeup on a white guy.
That's very common. That's not.
That happened. Oh gosh, oh Lord, when was Moonlighting?
The late 80s.
So, Billy was on Moonlighting, but that's the kind of era that he was in.
Well, that's part of what theater's gone through too, and even most recently with what is that beautiful man's name? Bradley Cooper, the movie last year that was fantastic. He's not Jewish, so they made him look Jewish, and he used the prosthetic. I don't think they were trying to make him look Jewish. Let me back up. They were trying to make him look like Mr. Bernstein, right? Yeah. So, and he had a very pronounced nose because he actually is Jewish. But there was that big controversy right there, you know what I mean? And Bradley Cooper was saying it made me feel more like the character, and they weren't doing it to be disrespectful. They were doing it so they could really embody the character itself. So now I'm not saying I'm okay with blackface and all the foolishness around that crap, but I'm not surprised that back in the day and even now that they do these things like, darken people's skin. And that's what the whole blackface, it's like Shakespeare. If you read Shakespeare, you heard about any of the plays, women were played by men because they wouldn't let women do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing. Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry, Rick. I just want to say this.
Oh, no, I'm good. Latoya, how you doing? How you doing? Mario was good. It's not new that white men have played most characters, and anybody of another ethnicity, there was a bit of an issue. What you said about the Portuguese man playing Jesus, okay, cool. The only problem that I have with it is the demographic of where they had Jesus from. The people from that area should be the ones playing it. If you remember the Ten Commandments, most of those characters were white, but they were supposed to be Egyptian. The movie Egypt faced a little bit of criticism because they didn't have people of the ethnicity of the area, even though they had a diverse cast as far as black folks, white folks, and all that other craziness. And I'll say craziness on purpose because you just didn't have the people that were supposed to be there in the first place. There was a real big stink about that, even though it was a good movie. It really was a good movie, but there was a big old protest about it. I don't think I heard it with the Last Temptation of Christ or the Passion of the Christ. I'm not going to talk about Black Jesus that was on Cartoon Network. That was ridiculousness. I'm just going to let you know. Because they have done different types of all of it. Yeah. So to me, I would say if you're going to have characters or you're going to do a story about an area, try to find the people of that demographic who are actors and actresses who play those roles, honestly.
Because there are plenty of them. Thank you, Tony.
Yes. As far as the Barbie situation, the Black Barbie thing, I know that came out, that was an issue in the 80s. They did talk about it back then. I remember that. They did come out with one. You didn't hear much about it, but they did announce that they were going to do one and it was being sold. The Cabbage Patch Dolls, I do remember that. Mm-hmm. Black heroes. In the 80s, I remember Black Vulcan off of Super Friends. I remember the Brown Hornet.
Oh, we're talking about cartoons again.
I'm just saying, as far as different cultures and different demographics being represented, the Blind Barbie is very interesting to me. I did not hear about that at all. Yeah, that was pretty good. So, and the people with disabilities, I think they did something with the Cabbage Patch Kids. Some of those cards, I think a couple of them might have had limitations, for lack of a better term, to be more sensitive to the situations. I think they had somebody in a wheelchair, they had somebody on crutches and all of that. So I understand what you're saying, Joy. They do not represent the, I hate to say disabled, but the physically impaired community, if you will, in any shape or form.
You know what's so weird though? They would make so much money. Like the thing that kills me, all these companies are all in it for the profit. Let's just be honest. Why would you not include as many people as possible to buy your stuff?
Exactly.
I tell you.
That's why it's racism. Because why wouldn't you be like, I'm a business friend. Let's tap into that black group over there because I'm sure they'd buy some Barbies. You know what I mean?
I'm not buying one.
Okay, if you had a daughter, you would. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not saying boys can't play with Barbies. I'm just saying it doesn't matter whether you would buy a Barbie or not. That's not the point, doofus.
Behave, Tony.
You know what he says? He behaves, but he does not.
I do too. You see me cut up. Yes,
Rick,
I do.
I'm sorry. It's your show. Go ahead, baby. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, Tony, when you were a kid, did you ever think like, why aren't there many people that look like me on TV when you were a kid?
No, because there actually were. I will, for the teenage African-American males in the 80s, I'll say for me, we had JJ on Good Times. And then after that, it was Theo on the Cosby Show. Then after that, it was Dwayne Wayne on Different World. Then it was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Those are pretty much our similarities. Black characters, you had the Jeffersons. You had, just had somebody else on my head. Who else was? I forgot. The Jeffersons pretty much it. Diane Carroll faced a lot for being on Dynasty. They gave her a lot of praise for being on it because I think she was the only black character on that show, if I remember.
So.
Oh, but are you saying there was no problem when you were growing up? Because
no, I'm not saying it wasn't a problem, but they had some form of representation. I'm not going to say there wasn't a problem, but there was some form.
But it was also very limited. It wasn't like you didn't have cowboys who were black, or you didn't have like a Magnum PI who was black. You didn't have there's the tokenism part of it to kind of make sure we're doing what we need to do. Did you say Family Matters?
I didn't say Family Matters because Family Matters was after me. Family Matters actually came out when I was already like in college. I wasn't really watching Family Matters. I never watched Family Matters. Personally, I'm 80s television. I'm seriously a lot of 80s television. I can do Trivial Pursuit and 80s television. I used to be a beast at it because I watched all of those shows. Moonlight and Dukes of Hazzard, Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers, Matlock, JJ Starbuck. You probably
all those are white predominantly. Like everything. That's the point, right? Isn't that the point?
No, that's what I was just thinking because every show he mentioned was black shows.
Boom, 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 like that. And the shows that you watched and that I watched growing up, it's because they. First of all, I wasn't like, let me find a black show. That wasn't what I was doing. Right? That wasn't, but we were
just watch what was on TV. Yes.
Right? We were gravitating toward what we could relate to. And since there wasn't that much, we related to certain shows that had characters that looked like us. But there were other shows we always talk about shows we loved and watched, and they were mostly white.
That's the
what inclusivity means, and what I think, I'm not speaking for Rick, but when Rick sent me the clip and the topic you want to talk about, it's the breadth of feeling equal.
Agreed.
We should be able to name, like I was thinking about this today. I was like, I know if I asked anybody, not just you guys, and I'm not trying to test anybody, can you name 5 Asian actors? And you cannot include the one guy, everybody who I don't even know. What's his name? The one that did all the action stuff.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah. No. There's another one. What's the guy who's
Young Fetta, Jet Li.
Right. Without naming him, like, can we name 5? No, it's not a test. I'm saying maybe you do. I mean, I was struggling, right? And I was like, okay, I remember Lucy Liu because she was in Charlie's Angels, and then afterwards she was on Elementary. She was like the Watson of Sherlock on Elementary, and I follow her on Bruce Lee. Thank you, Melanie. That's what I was thinking about. Because that's everyone's go-to, right? And then I thought about Lisa Ling. And the reason why I know who Lisa Ling is because I used to mess up her name all the time. And she's not an actor. She's a journalist who was on The View. But she's actually a journalist. And then she had a show on CNN or whatever.
She does on like National Geographic stuff.
Yeah, she does like the in-depth reporting stuff and whatever, right? Yeah. And then I was thinking, and I was really struggling with it. And I was so mad. And now, Rick, the clip you sent is all Asian. Oh, Michelle Yeoh. Is that how you say her last name? Yeoh?
I was getting ready to say her name because she was on Star Trek.
And the guy from Goonies, I can never remember his name.
Who?
The Asian kid from Goonies. I forgot his name.
Oh, he's the one that was in the Loki show too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot. I'm horrible with names.
I remembered Aquafina.
Aquafina was a name I was going to bring up. Yes,
yeah. But you see, if I said, let's name 5, can you name 5 white actors? It would be like,
it doesn't take long. You're correct.
That's right. But we, even though I think we're very aware and very knowledgeable about the situation, that's how you know we're still not there yet. So I'm going to say this.
Okay, I'll look it up.
I will. Here's the thing. We need to get to a place where we are so equal that it doesn't matter if a white person, a Portuguese person plays Jesus, or a black person plays Jesus, or whatever, right? We're not there, and we're not going to get there in our lifetimes. because racism is real. It's institutional racism. It doesn't mean anyone's doing anything bad. It just means it's so ingrained in us that the only thing that matters or that is right or correct or the best way to be is if it's white. And everything else, we're like, oh my God. That is why Black Panther was an amazing movie, because you got to watch people of color and everyone watched it. That's right. Oh, it's right over left. So here's the thing. You got to watch a movie where, Joy, we're doing the Wakanda Forever hand signal thing. So that's why I said right over left. But here's the thing is
the hand signal.
That was a great movie because for the first time, whatever it is, for the first time, we watched a movie about a story with people who happen to be Black. Right? It wasn't like, oh my God, finally a rom-com with Black people. No, this was actually a story about people that we were all intrigued by who happened to be Black. It was fantastic.
If I may,
it was
a story of Black people who had control of where they were and they were in their own power.
Oh yeah, that's the deeper part of it though. I'm just saying the reason why I think white people enjoyed it so much is because they could relate to the story and they didn't have to try to connect to Black folk.
I think they were the white people that I know, and I will say that just on purpose.
He only knows a few, but
no, I'm not saying like that, but I mean, there were some people who did not like the movie. They didn't get as much out of it as others.
Okay, but most people in the world loved it. So I don't know who your white friends are.
Can you let me finish? Thank you. People that I was talking to and dealing with, they enjoyed the movie for the story. They enjoyed that it was a negative against Black folks, which is the one thing Black folks were emphasizing. We finally looked like we were in a decent situation. We had control of our situation. We showed some force of power. We weren't submissive. And I think we talked about this last year on the show too. When I spoke on Black Panther, we finally looked like we had some respect, we had some dignity, we had some control, we had some power. Of course, they were the more dominant with what they had, but it wasn't negative. It wasn't stereotypical. It wasn't jigaboo-ish, all of that craziness. It was very. I
think you're giving white people a lot of credit. I would like to give them that much credit, but
no, this is the people that I was spoken to, yes.
No, your people. Okay, but this is what I'm trying to say is, and this isn't a bad thing. White people get upset because they think like, and I'm not saying all white people. I'm not saying all white people. I'm just saying in my experience, certain white people that I know or have been around or whatever they have in their head what a Black man's supposed to look like, right? We've all grown up with the idea of you're supposed to be scared from Black people when they're walking down the street or whatever, right? The gangster guys, all Black men are gangsters or whatever, right? That's what we grew up in the 80s and 90s thinking. So the idea that a Black man with dark skin and dark features, not mixed, could be a doctor, could be a lawyer. That was the Cosby Show. You know what I mean? Like when you can see people who are affluent and doing well, and no offense to Sanford and Son, but the reason why that show worked is because he was still doing the Gesture Joel, right? He was doing the comedy. No offense to whatever his name was. I forgot, Red Fox. But, right? That was his name, Red Fox, right? Yeah. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like we were still in that place where a Black man, I said this last week, it still kills me to this day that a Black man was tap dancing for Shirley Temple. It will always kill me. This man was an exquisite dancer. But the reason why he got the role or whatever is because he played basically the kind of, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say it. I mean, I know what it is. I want to say clown to Shirley Temple, a little white girl. And like he was there to serve her. And I will always hate that. And I growing up, that's what pissed me off. Those things. So I agree with you with Black Panther to a certain extent. But I also think I want to get to that place where we can watch movies about people. Like The Color Purple is another one. You watch a movie that is a story. And Black people are bringing their culture, their thing, but it's not a dismissive movie about being whatever it is. That's why everybody got so upset when Oprah's character was put in jail for doing exactly what any white person would have done. That's why people got upset. You know what I mean? Okay, let me read these. I'm sorry, Rick. I'm now going to shut up for the next 25 minutes. That's it. I am. I'm gonna do it. Growing up in Spanish-speaking home, they had Spanish channels, so I saw people who spoke my language. But even then, the big roles were played by European-looking actors. Of course. And then she continues. She's letting us know. Skinned actors were always the help, the villains, or the comedic relief. Yes. Colorism is very prevalent. Mario said John Chu, Daniel Day, Kim. Well, he's just naming Asian people. Okay.
Show off.
Yeah, he's Googling. I'm just kidding. He played the minstrel. That's right. He did to Shirley Temple. And because I was a dancer, I'm sorry, because I am a dancer, I'm not going to let that go. I remember watching that in the reruns or whatever and being completely disgusted. Not by him, but that the work he could get was doing that. Mm-hmm. And bravo to him because he broke doors, broke ceilings and whatever to help other people. But you know what I'm saying. So, all right, it is 48 minutes. I'm not talking for 20 20 more minutes at all. Go ahead, Rick. Your show. I'm done.
Yeah, right. Bye, Latoya. Good to see you. Thanks for coming, Latoya.
I'm going to be quiet now. Talk to everybody else.
But
you already broke it.
Cynthia, I think you were starting to say something before, and then I started talking over you a little bit. Do you remember?
I really don't remember.
Yeah, but like I don't have it. I think it's cool, and I love it actually that there's shows that like Tony ran down a list of all the shows that are Black shows. My thing is, why can't we have a mix like Star Trek? Why don't we have more of that? And why isn't that just considered normal, like real life?
It always comes back to sci-fi.
See.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, like why can't we be like more? Because more real life, you're going to encounter all different kinds of people. Why can't we have shows?
This topic has been coming up.
Look at this show.
Hello.
Come on. We got a great group of different people, different backgrounds.
Yeah.
One of the more diverse movies that had the mix of races, and race wasn't an issue. The Warriors.
So which one?
The Warriors. Movie about the gang that had to go through New York after that. They were a diverse crew, which was reality.
Mm-hmm.
It really was reality. Exactly, Mario. We already know.
2 seconds.
But the diversity, they've been talking about it forever. They've been trying to push it forever. Sometimes it worked, other times it didn't. I remember when they tried to put it on Beverly Hills 90210, they didn't last 3 episodes, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, that's pretty much it. They've been trying. They're going to make the effort. It's going to be about whether or not the audience gravitates to it or not. Honestly. Some people want to see what they want to see, and you don't want necessarily see a mix without having some type of controversy. Like you said with Star Trek, when they had the interracial kiss, biggest thing in the news.
Ooh, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's out there and it's been there. In real world, it's only an issue because people have made it an issue. Kids don't care.
Exactly.
Teenagers will not care. People that get around each other and enjoy being around each other will not care. It's only an issue if they make it one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth.
Yeah. There was literal channels when that show came out with Uhura kissing Kirk. They were like, we're not showing that episode unless you take that out.
Exactly.
And they didn't. They wouldn't show it. It's like, wow. What's up, Joy? How you doing?
Carmen is biting her lip. She's going to blow a gasket. Look at her.
Not even true. Like, not even true at all.
You should see. Let me see. I did want to ask Joy how she was doing because we haven't talked to her in months, if you all didn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. I'm doing a lot better. I've actually got my voice back. Yay.
So, yeah. How about Cynthia? When you were little, did you ever feel like, where's the Spanish people at? Besides the telenovelas and the already
That's
established.
pretty much the only place I ever saw them.
Yeah.
To be honest. And, I only watched them with my mom when I was little. So.
Mm. And did it make you feel a certain type of way? Because, it was either white or Hispanic.
I mean, it was a different time. So, she'd go and watch her novella. Sometimes I'd watch it. Sometimes I'd be outside. I didn't really pay attention to any of that growing up, because I grew up in Jamaica Plain, which was mostly Latinos at the time.
Remember they used to call it Jamaica Spain.
And, we were always outside playing. So
yeah, that's true.
In the 80s.
It's a different time for sure.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
Do you all think that we're getting a lot better now as far as representation in media?
I think it's better than it was. It definitely has room for improvement. And going back to the actors and the movies and stuff, a lot of people with disabilities that you see on TV or in movies, those are able-bodied people playing people with disabilities.
Except on 911. There's a show 911. I was shocked. I looked up the entire cast, and he actually is. It's what's his name's son. It's what's his son. He's actually. I don't know what his. He has. I don't know what his thing is.
Cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy. Yeah.
Yeah. So he obviously has it in real life. So in the show they put it in.
Yeah.
So he's a really good actor, though.
He's a very good actor. Amazing actor.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I definitely see the representation, but I agree there is room for improvement, but it's being done. Based on that clip you had with that movie Shang-Chi, that was very big in the Asian community. A lot of the Marvel shows recently have been representative of the Asian community. You look at Black Adam, you look at Ms. Marvel, you look at Shang-Chi. I think it was when they were over there in Asia. What's her name that's over there? She started the organized crime. You know what I'm talking about, Rick?
This is Marvel?
Wasn't Ms. Marvel?
No, a Marvel show, I mean.
It was a Marvel. It was a Marvel show.
Oh, and then that reminds me too. Echo, that was a deaf woman, was the main star of the show. She's for real deaf.
I never watched Echo.
She's for real deaf. That's the one right there. I'm sorry. She's for real deaf.
Sorry. Not for fake deaf. She's for real deaf. That's going to be a clip, and I'm going to live that down never.
No, you are not going to live that down. You're not going to live.
Come on, it was a good one. Like you didn't mean to be, but you were.
That's always cool too, because I love watching the making of type stuff. Everybody on the set, like everybody, not just the actors, they all learn sign language for her, so I can communicate with her. So I was like, that's so cool. That's really, really cool.
Wasn't there a movie Coda that was?
Oh yeah, didn't it win? Yeah, it was nominated, but I thought it won the Oscar.
They did win. Right? They did win. Yeah, they did. Yeah, and it was mostly sign language, and the cast had to learn sign language and everything.
So again, okay, that's great. I'm just going to say this again. Can we name 5 movies that were made about politics, right? Or can we name 5 movies that were made about the Holocaust or war or whatever? We could all figure it out pretty quickly, right? So again, it goes back to that thing that we remember these because there were specific things about them that made them noticeable. And what I want to get to, and I don't think we will in my time, I want to get to a place where there's so many, you know what I mean? That we're not talking about color or disability or ethnicity. We're just talking about, oh my God, that movie was so great. Mm-hmm. We're not saying, oh, but he was deaf, a for real deaf person.
Oh God.
Yeah, you're never. I'm gonna say that all the time.
Oh man.
Creed 2 and 3. What's Creed 2 and 3?
Creed 2 and 3. That's the one they redid.
That's the Stallone movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Michael B. Jordan was playing out Apollo Creed. Now.
Mm-hmm.
Good story. Real good story.
And the Eternals, the movie that Mario brought up too, that was great. That was very representative all over the board. So
yes, it was all the way across the board out there. I was just watching it last night.
Oh my God. I remember going to that movie with my goddaughter Juliana, and I don't even remember it. No, it was the one with Angelina Jolie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
impressed by it either.
It was okay. What?
I wasn't impressed by it either.
Yeah.
I had to watch
it. Was entertaining, but
Joy,
I was catching a couple things every time I watched it. I was catching something the second time. I was catching something else the third time. I see what they're doing. They're continuing the story.
I have to watch it that many times to see what they're doing. I'm just saying.
Well, you get the original premise of it, but there's a key to what they're doing with the whole Marvel franchise that they go through. It's another phase.
I like watching movies on their own and not having. I'm just saying, like, if I have to do that much work watching a movie, it's not doing what it needs to do for me. You know what I mean? Like, wait, I want to ask Joy, are you a Marvel fan? I've never asked you that question.
I'm really not.
You're what?
My daughter is.
Oh no, there's no crime in it. I just don't want us talking about. Look, I want any reason to stop these guys from talking about.
Let me like totally change the subject.
Wait. You can change the subject if you talk into your speaker because you keep going in and out. Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that. That's kind of weird.
But now you're better because you moved a little closer and you still look fine in the frame. But I'm just saying maybe it's because when we talk, we go in and out, like we move around, you know. So, but go ahead, change the subject. Oh, Rick, do you mind if Joy changes the subject?
That's perfectly all right, Joy.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
You have the floor.
Hey, Rick. The cruise that I was on was on the Carnival Celebration. It was the May 5th cruise. And if you watch any type of travel stuff, you heard about our group because I was on a group called All Paws on Deck.
Pause. Like 4 paws. Mm-hmm. This was a group for blind people, and a lot of the people on the cruise, there was 37 guide dogs. So in total, we had 67 blind people on this cruise. Wow.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So, and normally you may see 1 or 2 people, you know, every few months on a cruise that is blind. But there was 67 of us on this cruise. Carnival did an absolutely amazing job. I completely changed my mind about Carnival because you hear all these things and see all the crazy videos of everything going on a Carnival cruise. There was no incidents. There was a few people that did not like the guide dogs being on the cruise, but because Carnival has to be ADA compliant, they did an amazing job of including us in everything. The staff, the crew members, they had several meetings on training their staff. The crew member would stop and ask us if we needed help, if we needed assistance, and come up, grab our arm and say, hey, come on, I'll show you where it is. They asked if we needed assistance. Mm-hmm. If we did, we said we did. If we didn't, everything was fine.
Okay, but Joy, can you explain for people like myself who don't have someone in their life who has a disability with somebody who's blind. Why is that so important? You said it so emphatically, and to me, I wouldn't have even thought any different. Like if I saw you walking and I thought you were going the wrong way, I would come up to you and say, oh, excuse me, let me show you how to do it. I'd grab you by the elbow, which is what I was taught or whatever. But can you explain to people why it's more important to ask before just doing, even though they mean well?
Right. And a lot of people do mean well. However, if you would come up and just grab someone's arm and say, oh, you're going the wrong way, or let me help you cross the street, I don't know you.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
And you don't know if I need help or not. You assume because I'm blind that I will need help.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of blind people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And we are all different, all different abilities. We are all versed in travel.
Mm-hmm.
And when we use our cane, that's our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, my poor old cane is beat up on the bottom because I run into stuff. That's what my cane is there for.
I'm sorry, Joe. That was funny. I'm sorry. The way you said that was funny.
Yeah, she said it. It was kind of funny, but it's also real and it's something we don't hear about and we need to know.
So if you think someone is blind and you think they may need assistance, just simply ask them. Don't touch them. Don't grab the cane, which I have had people do.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's been times I would have to stand and do just training and listening for traffic. And people would just naturally assume that I needed to cross the street. And I would say, no, I'm just waiting on someone. And sometimes I was just waiting on someone or waiting on an Uber. But, people a lot of times do mean well. But if I don't know you, please don't just come up and grab my arm because I don't know, one, who you are, where you're trying to take me. So it's just nice to say, hi, do you need assistance?
Can I ask you, or can I make a statement and you tell me if I'm wrong? I feel like even though people mean well, they're still thinking about themselves more than they're thinking about you. Because when I say you, I mean people who have a disability, whatever the disability is. I think that people sometimes want to have that savior feeling. It feels good to help people, right? People pretend that helping people is really about other people, but it's really about us. We feel good when we can help another person.
Right.
But when you do that and you're not being considerate of the person you think you're going to help, it can go the other way. And I think we do that, and I'm including myself in that. We do that because we really do want to help and we think we're helping, but we're doing it really because we think we should. And we're not thinking, you know what I mean? Like we think like we're supposed to help the poor, needy, disabled person. And the fact is, any disabled person that I know, is that the right terminology, by the way, to say disabled? Challenged or?
It can, and I'll tell you this, in the disability community, people's going to get offended if you say disabled, handicapped.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, no disrespect, but my point is we always think there's some weakness in people who have any impairment whatsoever, any disability whatsoever. And the fact is, from my personal experience, any person that I think has a disability is usually far better off than I am because they know the world in a very different way and understand it better. And they're not like, this isn't their first rodeo. You know what I mean? Like, they know how to cross the street. They know, and they'll ask, just like I will ask for help. People who have disabilities or impairments will also ask for help. So if you're going to go up to any random person and be like, let me grab you by the arm and walk you through, then don't do it to someone you think is blind or whatever it is. You know what I mean? I learned that lesson the hard way because I did the same thing. I went to try to help someone because I thought they needed help. And did they give me a learning lesson that I will never forget because he was not shy. He was in a wheelchair. He was not shy. He was like, bitch, I don't need your help. But I'm grateful for it. It was great because it was like, okay, sorry. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't even mad at him, but I'm sure he had gotten his full so many times of people thinking he needed help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know one for me is like public restrooms, and especially in large airports. Amy has a large restroom. If you don't ever go to Miami restrooms in the airport, just don't. I was trying to find the sinks, and this sweet little lady grabs my arm, and leads me out the door.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry.
Like, okay, I'm not cleaning hand sanitizer, but
To give a little different perspective, any woman that's been pregnant, how many women hate it when somebody just thinks they can put their hand on your stomach?
Yep.
I did not tell you could do that. And it's the same thing. You don't just grab me. Who are you?
Yep.
That's a weird thing. I've never understood why people think they could touch anybody's body without permission.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people, and I'm just gonna say straight up, white people, go and be like touching my hair. That happened in grammar school and it happened in college. Like thinking they were like, oh my God, your hair's so pretty. But like doing it as they're touching my hair, like what the hell is wrong with you people? Let me just say hi to Bobby Stamps, who's in
Bobby
the
Shadow.
great group here. Wow, flashbacks. Oh, that's a nice thought. Yeah, I guess there's happy people in the house.
And Alma said
we're not doing word of the day because we're talking about joy.
And Alma said earlier, you can't assume they want your help. You have to respect them and their personal space. Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but she also said that's a lot of dog poop.
I was going to skip that one.
About that.
Well, we have to tell Joy about that because she was that's when you were talking about the cruise and people being upset that they were dog. What's the right terminology?
Service dogs?
Were they service dogs? Yeah, service dogs, right? So she said that's a lot of dog poop. Go ahead, Cynthia. Rick, I'm just helping you out. Go ahead, Rick.
So, Joy, I actually saw videos of certain cruise lines that have specific areas for people who have service dogs to use the restrooms and stuff like that. You know, did they have certain areas for your dogs?
They did. A lot of us on the cruise actually had balconies. So what they would do, they actually removed some of the furniture on the balcony and put a litter box on the balcony. And they had different decks, especially deck 7 had, I think, 2 or 3 large litter boxes. For
I'm confused by the litter box thing. What was the you guys had cats?
For the dogs, when the dogs have to go.
Yeah.
Will they go? Do the dogs go in the litter box?
Reluctantly, but yes.
Okay. I'm just saying clearly I don't have a dog, so I'm confused. I was confused, but okay, got it.
They were looking for trees.
Right. They should have planted a tree in every But, yeah. So this was what cruise line?
Carnival.
Did they have a bad name or something? Because you seemed emphatic about saying you were happy. I don't cruise. Cynthia's going on a cruise in 2 weeks or 1 week, 2 weeks,
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
2 weeks.
I don't do cruises, so I'm confused. Is Carnival a bad cruise company? Clearly not.
Carnival had a reputation of a lot of drug use, a lot of pot smoking, and a lot of fighting.
Joy, hold on 1 second. We lost, for some reason, Rick. I guess he's like, it was my show. I don't know.
He got kicked out of his own show.
He's like, you said it was my show, bitch. Hold on, I gotta find him. I don't know where he is.
What happened?
Am I here? Am I here? Hello? Was I gone for real? For real?
Joy, I'm so sorry, but somehow he just jumped off, and I was like, it is. Like, ultimately, it is my show. It's hard.
I know that. I didn't do that on purpose. I know what happened. I have no idea what happened. But no, I agree with Joy that the thing that I've always heard was they were a big party cruise line. If you wanted to party hard, you went to Carnival. That's what I always heard. Well, I don't know. Carmen's 10, 12. Well, it's an hour and 12 minutes.
I'm letting you do what you need to do now that we know almost done. Look at he's like, bitch, please.
I did not say that. Nor would I.
I know, because you would not.
I was waiting for Rick to say I did not use that word. I did not use the word.
He'll use a different word for that word. Like he'll say some other word. Like instead of mother effer, he'll be like mother flower or something. Same intention. Doesn't matter.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole other topic. But all right. So I'm not going to jump off yet because I have some other things I want to ask. Tony, how was your week? Did you find a piece of joy this week at all?
My week was good. From too loud, let me know when he's going to sleep.
Okay, so you know what's happening right now? You put the thing next to you and you talk even lower.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear you.
I turned my volume up. How was that?
I think he thinks he's sexy or something when he's talking.
I've been told that. Thank you very much.
Let him fucking talk, bitch.
I want to go to sleep. I want to go to sleep.
Let's get it on.
You trying to be like Barry White?
He's trying to be Barry White, but Barry White would let his bravado show. He wouldn't, you know what I mean? Try to be low.
I know why. Can't get away from your love, baby.
So we know you can't sing, but thanks for effort.
And people love my karaoke.
Remember you guys used to do karaoke on whatchamacallit?
How come you
don't do karaoke, Tony, on your show?
I've done it on the other app that we're on. I didn't do it a lot more because as I watched the replay, I was not satisfied with my voice. I don't talk about it too much anymore.
I think we touched the nerve there. Okay. So you don't like your voice? Okay.
I didn't like how I sounded. No, I thought I sounded, and then I watched the replay. I was like, Jesus, That was terrible. But we did have a good follow. We had fun doing it. Everybody told me not to take it so serious, but I was trying to. And I see my flaws. I see my age. I've heard a change in my voice since I thought I had one.
Why don't you just embrace it?
Because I just rap instead of sing. I can do a lot of rapping.
Okay, let's hear some rap. Go ahead, baby. We got a few minutes.
Loose lips, sing ships, etc. I love it when she licks her lips, see me jacking, put a little twist in her hips because I'm watching conversations on the phone till the break of dawn. Now we all alone. Why the lights on? Turn them off. Kind of set it off. Time wait, saw something's on your mind. Let it off. I'm sorry, that was too like I was in a roll.
No, okay, you know what I was singing the other day, and this is how I know I'm old. Because I was singing something, and I was like at one of my offices, and I was like, I heard the first tone of something, and it reminded me. I thought it was hip hop, hip it to the hip it to hip hop, don't stop rocking to the bang bang. Right? So
Scooby Doo. Guess what? America,
we love you. We can rock and roll. We can go. I forget. Anyway, I was singing it, and all of these millennial and people were like, "My God, you know that song?"
I remember when it came out. That's how old I am.
What?
I remember when the song came out.
No, that's how old I am too. But they made it sound like there was something that was like a miracle that I knew the words or whatever. And I'm like, it's like any song that you grow up listening to and loving. You just, you know what I mean? It was just that's when I knew I'm just old. Like, what song is that? I'm like, oh my God.
About Sounds of Blackness.
Okay, but Tony, I hate to bitch about the mic thing, but somehow this still is not working. Am I the only one being like, why is this not working?
No, he's talking low on purpose because he's got the mic up to his face.
Because he's behaving?
Because Jason went to bed? Is that why you're doing it?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right, whatever. Cynthia, we already know what happened to you this week. Fabulous. Blah, blah, blah. Does everyone in the office know? Joy wasn't here. Cynthia interviewed for a job that she's always wanted that's in the death field. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. What is it?
It's pathology.
But she wants to be a death person, like person with autopsies and stuff. That's what I call it. So this is a step in the right direction. So she got the job today. So she's very excited. Does everyone in the office know?
Some people know. I haven't told everyone yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we know they watch the show, so they'll hear it anyways. Joy, what was great that happened this week to you?
I got my voice back.
Yay! Woo-hoo. Are you going to come on the show more often?
I want to, yes.
Okay, good. Because that's the only reason why I don't bother you, because I know you've had a lot on your plate and you've been traveling a lot and your mom, you know what I mean? So you're always welcome. You just text me, let me know. And I'm not going to send you a link all the time because you're so kind and you always explain to me why you can't come on. And I'm like, girl, please. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good. You don't need to answer to me for nothing. Like when I start paying you, then we might have some issues. You know what I mean? But it's not today, baby.
Thank you, Mario and Alma.
Wait, what did they say?
They're congratulating me.
Oh, yeah. They were here at the beginning. Oh, Alma said, Tony, you sound muffled. Okay, whatever. You know what? You can hate on me and Cynthia, but Alma, don't mess with her. She'll kick your ass. Rick, what happened great for you this week, baby? Besides being the host of the show the entire time.
Well, that's the highlight of my life. My God, I've been looking forward to this so much. My cousin brought over some slamming food. It was a combination of Italian, spaghetti and chicken, but then meatballs also with 2 separate meals. And I said, no, we're going to put this together. And it was amazing.
Ooh, okay.
That happened today. That made me happy.
Oh, that's good. So for me this week, I told Cynthia when we were in the green room talking a little bit earlier, I'm really tired, and as I always am. And I had just gotten in 20 minutes before I logged on. And I'm trying to be very grateful. I got my paycheck today from one of my clients, and I realized I need to stop complaining. You know what I mean? I have to find grace in all of it. So I have finished 3 designs for our swag. I have to do at least 5 for the place that I'm trying to use it. So I'm hoping next week we'll have some swag for everyone. I'm not hoping, I'm going to commit to it right now that next week we will have swag available. And hopefully you will help us so that we can continue to grow. We're doing a great job. And I think that's the one thing that gives me joy is seeing that it's not just that the podcast is fun and the live stream is fun. And it's also that we're growing, even if it's little by little by little. You know what I mean? It's nice to see. It's not getting less. Mara said, what brought us joy this week is that our niece was on The Price is Right. Wow. I didn't know that. She didn't tell me.
That's cool. Were they able to pronounce her name?
Huh?
Were they able to pronounce her name? Come on down. You know who you are.
No. You know what? I've been in touch with her, and she told me how to say her name, and I just forgot about it. So I didn't want to say her name.
I would assume.
No, you would think it's that, but it's pronounced differently.
Okay.
She's a wonderful, wonderful.
Mario's going to have to come on and pronounce it properly. Is all I got to say.
No, she told me like 5 times. I'm just so tired. I'm not going to say it, but it's AMYLA for people listening to the podcast later. So, okay. Thank you all for being on the show. I appreciate you all so much. That was a fun time. So with that said, we're at the 1:30 mark. I got to jump off because it's going to be too long to edit. I adore you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. And everyone, remember, it's always all about the joy.
Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.